Well, earlier in the night, Jefferson Parish's biggest problem seemed to be issues with sewage and being concerned, asking people to conserve water so that there weren't problems with sewage. But now other things have eclipsed that as a problem, and that includes flood waters all over the parish, really.
Yeah, there are now, I would safe to say it's thousands of people who are worried about their homes maybe getting the water getting a little too close. Right. We have Parish President Cynthia Lee-Sheng on the phone right now. Can you hear us? Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So what is the current situation in Jefferson Parish with the drainage system? I know that there are some some canals that were overtopped. Yes. What are things looking like right now?
Okay, so it probably started at about 8:30. We were getting calls, and generally speaking, where we are is we have a lot of open canals on the East Bank, and obviously with all the rainwater that we took on today, many of those canals were overtopped in different areas. And then really this is a situation where we believe we averaged 7 to 9 inches of rainwater today. Some areas almost 11 inches, honestly. So it's really a situation where overall, I will say the pumps were working. It's just that we were outpaced by the storm and the rainwater. We do, I've probably spent the last better part of an hour trying to go over with our drainage director and our public works director the couple of pumps that were not working and why. And I have more detail about that. But we had some pumping stations that are at the lake, which are major pumping stations, that we lost some of the pumps. And when I say some of them, maybe out of 10 pumps, we had some go off, but right now they're back on when we lost power. But you got to keep that in the scheme of things. We have 194 pumps throughout the parish. So when we lose 2 or 3 here or there, we're not losing major pumping capacity, but it's certainly for that pumping station, it means a lot. So probably the worst case scenario was Duncan Pumping Station, which is, at the lake near Williams Boulevard. At some point we were down a third. We had only, 2 of the 6 were not working. So we lost a third pumping capacity. But overall, other than the few here and there, the pumps just could not keep up with the rainwater.
And so where are you now? I mean, is it starting to drain? Are the pumps starting to catch up? Or what's your anticipated timeline on when we might see that go down?
Look, it's gonna take some time. I mean, we needed the rain to stop. And the first part of catching up is like the rain stopping. It is going down. We're getting word that it's going down a little quicker in Harahan. We do have a big pumping station out there. Some parts of Metairie is taking a little bit longer to go down, but thank goodness. Look, we kind of got lucky. I was on the phone with a lot of people. We got lucky that the major rain stopped when it was at many people's doors. It's hard for me to get, I'm very curious as to how many people took on water. I do know we probably had about 20 calls into the EOC that they took on water. We know some people took on waters in their car. We know some people may have taken on water kind of at the front of their house. It's hard for me to tell right now how much flooding in property in houses that we've had. But the canals overflowing is a very dangerous situation. So we're glad that everybody's staying home. Everybody needs to be home. It was, emergency flash flood warnings that we were getting and that were pushed out to people's phones. So it's a very, very dangerous situation. We need time to catch up. We need time to catch up with our drainage system. We need, the pumps are working. We just need to give them time. The same thing with our sewer system. We're going to have, as soon as we can tomorrow, we're going to have vacuum trucks out there. We'll have temporary trucks out there, temporary pumps. We'll have generators if we're missing electricity. We need the time for our systems to catch up with what happened to us today.
So you were continuing to urge people to conserve water. Do not use water if you can avoid it.
Yes. Please don't, it's no time to do your laundry. Again, what happens with the inflow and infiltration problem is that, we could handle just regular sewer water, which is all your household water that comes out of your house, whether it's your toilet, your dishwasher, or your laundry. But all this groundwater and all the storm water gets into broken parts in the pipe, and so it takes on water that it normally doesn't take on. It takes on a lot of storm water, and it just overwhelms the system. And we kind of knew that was happening many hours ago when we were getting reports of people not being able to flush their toilet. You know, that's a symptom of what we knew we were going to start seeing was the I&I problem. And it's just the water has nowhere to go, and it starts backing up, and we don't want it to back up in people's homes. So we're really asking people to conserve water. Let us pump that out. Let us get the vacuum trucks out tomorrow, and let us get some of that water out of the system.
When it comes to the canals that have overflowed, is there a prioritization that goes into play? Are you pumping one down quicker than another, or do they all go down at the same time? How does that work?
No, all of our pumps will go on, and it's kind of like a gravity thing. You know, many of the east-west flow canals, they don't always flow the same way. You know, sometimes it flows east and sometimes it flows west. It just depends on what pump at the lake is, you know, working better. So you know, the whole system will go down. Some might go down, you know, faster than others, but it will go down. And so, you know, again, even one of the stations at Elmwood, you know, we had 8 out of 10 pumps were working the whole time. We got the 9th one back online at 10:30, so we have 9 out of 10 pumps working. So we really, you know, so many of the other smaller pumping stations, 100% working all the time. The big pump to the river at Hurricane, 100% working all the time. So we really just had a couple that were out, and we're getting those back on quickly as we go. So it's you know, the pumps worked. We just really were outpaced with the storm.
What's the situation now with the canals? I mean, are they still overflowing?
I think many areas are overflowing. Some of them are, you know, dropping a little bit, you know, but many of them are still overflowing. It's still a very dangerous situation, I believe.
Okay. And you said you're not sure quite how many homes, or even how about businesses? I mean, we know at least a couple of them took on water.
Yeah, we do believe properties took on water. It's really hard for me. Here's the thing, you know, if you're in Kenner, you might be calling Kenner. I don't have eyes on it. You know, I'm just kind of going from what I'm hearing. Some of this information I'm hearing second and third hand. Some of them are true calls in. Some people who took on water may not have called anybody. So it's just really hard right now to know the numbers. I'm very, very curious myself. But look, nobody wants to lose property. Nobody, especially if it's your home. But I want to get through without any loss of life. And it's still a very dangerous situation out there. And so, you know, people really need to stay home. I do know that we were able to pick up some people on the East Bank and take them to Terrytown, which is on our pre-storm shelter on the West Bank. I know that did happen. So clearly that family probably took on, you know, water, and they were not comfortable in their home, and we were able to get them picked up and brought them to the West Bank. So I definitely know of situations. It's really hard for me to give you numbers. I just don't know it yet.
And so was that the only report of a rescue or any injuries have you heard?
Yeah, I think it was one or two families, I think, that may have been picked up on the East Bank, and they requested it. 4 families?
Okay.
4 families or 4 people, yeah.
Okay. All right. The President,
Okay.
Cynthia Lee-Sheng, yes, we can't thank you enough for your time. I know a lot of concerned residents in Jefferson Parish are watching us right now, so thank you so much. We appreciate it.